It begins not with a shout, but with a spark. For 200,000 years, our ancestors were wanderers, drifting across the vast, untamed landscapes of Africa, living at the mercy of the seasons. We were few, vulnerable, and constantly on the move, hunting game and gathering what the earth offered. Fire gave us warmth and protection, but it was the seed that gave us a home. Around 10,000 years ago, the ice retreated, and the world warmed. In the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, humans made the single most significant decision in our history. We stopped wandering. We planted seeds. We domesticated animals. The agricultural revolution did not just change our diet, it changed our destiny. For the first time, we could store surplus food. Surplus meant that not everyone had to farm. Some could build. Some could think. Some could rule. In the valleys between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the first true civilization, Sumer, rose from the dust. Here, humanity learned to tame the water with irrigation. We invented the wheel to move burdens and writing to record them. On tablets of clay, we wrote down our laws, our trades, and the stories of our gods. To the west, the Nile flooded with predictable grace, giving rise to Egypt, a civilization of immense stability and grandeur, obsessed with the afterlife and ruled by god-kings who built mountains of stone that still pierce the sky today. To the east, along the banks of the Indus River in modern-day Pakistan and the Yellow River in China, great cities were planned with sewage systems and organized streets. Humanity was no longer surviving, we were engineering. As centuries turned into millennia, these early river civilizations gave way to the age of empires. The Iron Age brought stronger tools and deadlier weapons. From the chaos of warring states, new philosophies emerged to make sense of the suffering. In India, Buddhism sought the end of desire. In China, Confucianism sought social harmony. In the tiny city-states of Greece, men began to ask questions about the nature of the world, laying the foundations of democracy, logic, and science. But ideas need roads to travel. The Roman Empire rose to dominate the Mediterranean, bringing law, engineering, and brutal military order to a vast territory. They built roads, aqueducts, and the Colosseum, creating a model of governance that would influence the West for thousands of years. Simultaneously, in the East, the Han Dynasty unified China, establishing the Silk Road, a golden thread of trade that connected the Pacific to the Mediterranean. For the first time, the world was linked. Silk, spices, and ideas flowed across continents. Yet all empires are mortal. Rome crumbled under the weight of corruption and invasion, plunging Europe into a fractured age. But while the lights dimmed in the West, they blazed brightly elsewhere. The Middle East entered a golden age under the banner of Islam. In Baghdad, scholars gathered the knowledge of the Greeks, Indians, and Persians, advancing algebra, medicine, and astronomy, while Europe struggled in the shadows of castles and kings. Across the ocean, completely unknown to the Afro-Eurasian world, the civilizations of the Americas were thriving. The Maya mapped the stars with astonishing precision in the jungles of Central America. Later, the Aztecs built the floating city of Tenochtitlan, a marvel of engineering, while the Incas constructed a vast empire along the spine of the Andes Mountains, connected by thousands of miles of roads without the use of the wheel. History then took a sharp, violent turn with the rise of the Mongols. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan and his successors smashed the borders of the known world, creating the largest contiguous land empire in history. They were ruthless conquerors, but their unification of the trade routes allowed the bubonic plague to travel with terrifying speed. The Black Death decimated populations, killing millions. Yet in the ashes of this tragedy, the seeds of the modern world were sown. In Europe, the scarcity of labor after the plague shifted the balance of power. Feudalism began to crack. A rebirth, or renaissance, began in Italy. Artists and thinkers looked back to the glory of Rome and Greece, placing the human experience at the center of the universe. Then came the machine that changed everything, the printing press. Knowledge, once locked in monasteries, could now be mass-produced. The monopoly on truth was broken. Driven by curiosity and greed, European powers took to the seas. In 1492, the collision of two worlds occurred. The arrival of Europeans in the Americas brought catastrophe for indigenous populations through disease and conquest. But it also created the first truly global economy. Silver from the Americas flowed to China. Potatoes and corn fed the growing populations of Europe, and millions of enslaved Africans were brutally transported across the Atlantic to build this new wealth. It was an era of exploration and exploitation. As trade expanded, so did the mind. The scientific revolution challenged ancient dogmas. We learned that the Earth was not the center of the universe, that gravity governed the stars, and that the world was made of microscopic life. This hunger for understanding led to the greatest acceleration in human history, the Industrial Revolution. In the late 18th century, we learned to burn coal to power steam engines. Muscles were replaced by machines. The cottage became the factory. The village became the metropolis. The pace of life accelerated. Trains cut through the landscape and telegraphs sent messages faster than the wind. But this progress came at a cost. Cities were choked with smoke, and nations competed for resources, leading to the age of imperialism, where a handful of European powers carved up Africa and Asia, subjugating millions under the guise of civilization. The tension of this industrialized competition finally snapped in the 20th century. The world was engulfed in two global wars of unprecedented destruction. We mechanized death with tanks, airplanes, and chemical weapons. We witnessed the horrors of the Holocaust and the devastating power of the atomic bomb, a weapon capable of ending history itself. Yet out of the rubble of the Second World War, a new order emerged. The United Nations was formed to prevent such catastrophes. Empires crumbled as nations across Africa and Asia fought for and won their independence. The world split into two camps during the Cold War, a silent struggle between capitalism and communism that drove a race for technological supremacy. This competition propelled us off the surface of our planet. For the first time, a human being looked down at the Earth from the moon, seeing our home as a fragile blue marble in the dark void. The walls eventually fell. The Cold War ended, and the digital revolution began. Computers, once the size of rooms, shrank to fit in our pockets. The internet connected the human hive mind, creating a web of information that spans the globe. We decoded the human genome, extended our lifespans, and reduced extreme poverty faster than ever before. Today, we stand at the summit of our journey. We are a civilization of 8 billion people, instantly connected, capable of godlike feats of engineering and medicine. But the echoes of our history still resonate. We face new challenges: climate change, inequality, and the ethical dilemmas of artificial intelligence. We are the first species with the power to destroy our planet, but also the first with the knowledge to save it. From the first fire in a dark cave to the glow of a smartphone screen, the story of civilization is a story of endurance, adaptability, and the unyielding human desire to build something greater than ourselves. The past is written in stone and blood, but the next chapter of human history is yet to be written. It is waiting for us.